So, for the last few years, we've all gotten pretty used to AI that talks, right? You prompt it, it responds, it's this helpful partner that lives entirely inside a chat box. But what happens when that AI gets a key and just walks right out into your computer? Now, that might sound like something straight out of science fiction, but it is exactly what's happening right now. A totally new class of AI is here, and it's not just designed to talk, it's designed to act.
We are seeing a massive shift here, from the chatbot, which is totally reactive and just waits for your command, to the AI agent, which is this proactive digital operator. It doesn't wait for you, it works for you, sometimes without you even asking. This is the real difference between a passive tool you have to push and an active digital employee that just gets stuff done.
And the project that's really making this a reality for everyone is called OpenClaw. You should think of it this way. If ChatGPT was the big moment the whole world woke up to AI that could talk, well, OpenClaw is the ChatGPT moment for AI that can act. It's the system that's finally crossing the line from just generating cool ideas to actually taking real-world actions. OpenClaw absolutely exploded, gaining over 20,000 stars on GitHub in a single day. To give you some perspective on that, that makes it one of the fastest-growing open-source projects in history. This wasn't some slow burn. It was a supernova, signaling a massive leap forward.
And this entire approach is pulled straight from biology. Just think about it for a second. Your body isn't run by some single CEO neuron giving all the orders. Nope. It's trillions of individual cells, each with its own simple job, all collaborating to create, well, you, a super complex organism. That's the core idea here. True, powerful intelligence bubbles up from the bottom.
Okay, so that's the big picture theory, but what does this actually look like in practice? Right now, we are seeing these agents become what you could call a 24/7 digital employee. The explosion of open source tools to build these agents has been called the ChatGPT moment for this space, and the stuff people are doing with them is already kind of astounding. Let me give you a perfect example of what these agents can do. Imagine you need to buy a car, but you absolutely hate the whole haggling and negotiation process. Well, you could just task an agent to handle the entire thing for you, and that's exactly what one person did. And the result? The agent went out, researched fair prices on Reddit, found local cars for sale, emailed multiple dealerships, and negotiated the entire deal on its own. It ended up saving its owner $4,200. Now, this wasn't just a fancy web search. This was a complex, independent task that delivered real, cold, hard cash value.
And it doesn't stop there. Not even close. Agents are now proactively ordering breakfast so it shows up the second their owner wakes up. They're coding new software features completely on their own and submitting the code overnight. In one case, an online booking site failed, so the agent just used a voice API to actually call the restaurant and make the reservation over the phone. They're even building their own dashboards to keep track of all the work we're giving them. It's wild.
Others are developers who have agents that find bugs in their own software, write the fix, and then submit that new code for review all while they're asleep. They can even handle the entire workflow for booking podcast guests, from the first email all the way to the final calendar invite. This isn't just automation. This is proactive assistance. So, the big question is, how is any of this possible? What is the secret sauce that makes an agent so different from a simple chatbot? Let's get into the tech that gives these agents what you might call their soul.
So what's really the difference? It really comes down to 4 key things. First up is persistence. A chatbot forgets you the second the conversation ends, an agent remembers. Then there's actionability. Agents don't just talk, they do things. They can access your files, your web browser, your command line. They also run 24/7 on your own hardware, like a little Mac Mini in the corner. And maybe most important of all, they're proactive. They don't just wait for you to ask for something, they can take initiative. That's what turns them from a tool into a true digital operator.
And all of this really hinges on one central concept: persistent identity. This is what transforms an agent from a simple program into a partner you can actually trust. It's the ability to hold on to memory, to remember its core values, and to keep context from one day to the next. That lets it learn and evolve into that reliable digital employee we've been talking about. So how does this actually work? You might be thinking it's some crazy complex tech, but it's actually surprisingly simple. A lot of this identity is stored in a basic text file, often called a soul.md file.
It's where you write down the agent's core values, its personality, its long-term goals. Every single time the agent boots up, it reads this file to remember who it is. It's basically its digital DNA, giving it that consistent soul.
And it's because of this power, this ability to have a consistent, evolving identity, that the economic impact is just going to be massive. The research firm IDC is projecting that spending on this stuff is going to hit $1.3 trillion by 2029. This isn't some niche little experiment. This is the next major wave of computing. But, as you can imagine, with that kind of power comes some enormous risk.
Now, this level of power is obviously incredible. But you know the old saying, with great power comes, well, great risk. Giving an AI full, unfettered access to your computer raises some very, very high stakes, both in terms of money and, of course, security. But here's the catch. An agent's superpower, that complete, total access to your files, your browser, your entire system, is also its Achilles heel. Security experts have a term for this, the blast radius. And what it means is, if an agent with that kind of deep access gets compromised, it's not a small problem. It's a catastrophic, total system breach.
And these threats are very, very real. The big one everyone's worried about is called indirect prompt injection. Basically, an attacker can hide malicious commands inside a web page or an email. Your agent goes to read it, just doing its job, and gets tricked into running the hidden command. On top of that, researchers just found almost 1,000 OpenClaw servers that were just left wide open on the internet. And just like browser extensions, you have to worry about malicious, community-made skills designed to do nothing but steal your private data.
So what can you actually do about it? How do you protect yourself? Here's the essential playbook from security pros. First, sandbox it. Never, ever run an agent on your main computer. Put it in a completely isolated environment. Second, use burner accounts. Give it its own email, its own logins. Third, monitor its DNS requests. That just means watch where it's trying to connect to on the internet. And most importantly, govern its APIs. The API gateway is your choke point. You might not be able to control what the agent is thinking, but you absolutely can control what doors it's allowed to open.
Okay, so we've covered the huge paradigm shift, the incredible things these agents can do, and the critical risks that come with them. So what does it all mean for us? What's our new job in this coming agentic future?
Some people are starting to call this the era of vibe computing. The idea is that soon you won't be clicking around in 100 different apps anymore. You'll just state your intent, your vibe, like plan me a weekend trip to the mountains, and a whole swarm of agents will just figure it out and make it happen. This shift could make something like 80% of the apps we use today totally obsolete. And that leaves us with one final and I think pretty crucial question. This technology gives us a power we've never had before, the ability to execute incredibly complex goals at machine speed. The tool's here. So if we're the ones who now have to lead this colony, where will we command it to go?